Hello everyone, I'm Namrata from Informatica Global Customer Support. In this video, we'll see how to egress hierarchy data in Customer 360 SaaS. So agenda is to give an overview of CDI mapping and its task flow for a hierarchy egress, and also we'll give an overview of each of the fields that gets egressed. Prerequisite is to have a sample hierarchy model, and the data should already be ingressed into this hierarchy. So defining a hierarchy model. A hierarchy model consists of a collection of hierarchy relationships between business entities. For example, an organization hierarchy model shows the relationship from the organization business entity to a person business entity. So in this example, we have an organization and a person business entity which has a relationship between them, and also we have a self relationship defined. In the hierarchy designer of a B360 console, we can define hierarchies and its relationships. We can also add additional attributes for a relationship if required. Using a FEP connector, we can egress the hierarchy details. It consists of hierarchy instance, hierarchy root record, and all the relationships of a hierarchy can be egressed. So these are the assets that would be available for an FEP connector to egress the hierarchy data. Here is the sample hierarchy mapping. We need to configure different source for hierarchy instance, root, relationships, and map to its respective target. So here are the fields that are available for hierarchy egress for a hierarchy instance. So we get source key, business ID, hierarchy instance name, level, description fields. Along with that, we also have a couple of system defined fields like create date, last update date, created by, and updated by. Likewise, for the root, also we get source key, business ID, source system fields, and also the parent details and the child details. Here, hierarchy root itself is a relationship between a root record and a hierarchy instance. So in the parent, we'll have all the hierarchy instance details here. So here it is the HCP hierarchy and the name of the hierarchy instance and the business ID here. And likewise for the child, we'll have source key, source system, business ID, and the business entity ID of the child record. So in this example, we have considered organization as the root. So all of its details will be present here. Likewise, for a hierarchy relationship, it's nothing but org to org self relationship or an org to person relationships, right? So these details will be captured in the hierarchy relationship. Here in this scenario, it's a child is a person and a parent is an organization, and respective data would be fetched as part of this. Let's quickly jump into a demo. I have a organization and person business entity which has got self relationship and an org to person relationship as well. So in Customer 360, we get to define, we get to load hierarchy instance and hierarchy data. So here under the hierarchies, I've already created a HCP instance key under HCP hierarchy. Here are the details, the name, description, and under the system fields, this is the source system which I have used to ingress the data, which is default Informatica Customer 360, and here is the source key and MDM business ID which gets created when instance is created. And once we open the hierarchy, so these are the hierarchy records that are already been ingressed. So org1 and org2 are the root level details, and sub org1, here this is nothing but the org to org relationship, which is a self relationship, and this is a organization to person relationship. So each of these relationship will get egressed in their respective FEP mapping. So here is the sample hierarchy mapping that we have. So here we have 4 different source, which is hierarchy instance, hierarchy root, org to person, which are all being mapped to a target CSV file. So now if you take a look at the source, So here we are using a FEP connector, and once you select the go to the object, we'll get to select the respective assets. So here under the hierarchies, you get to choose the hierarchy which you want to egress, and like I said, here we have 4 different entities that are available, right? So here HCO HCP hierarchy is nothing but the hierarchy instance, and C360 organization to HCP hierarchy is nothing but the hierarchy root record. So like I said, it has a relationship between the root record and the hierarchy instance itself. And C360 organization to C360 organization is a self relationship, and C360 person to C360 organization is another relationship. And once you select the object, and all the fields that are available would be listed here. Sorry. So all of the fields, like I mentioned, like source key, the name level, description along with the system columns will be available. And likewise for the roots, right? These are the child business ID, child and the parent information is already available. And for an org also, we have the parent and child. So here, or in a self relationship, C360 organization to C360 organization. So once the mapping is done, we'll have to create a mapping task and then a task flow. And in B360 console, we have to create a job definition where MDM egress would be the process, and based on the export type, whether export all or standard export, you can choose. And here we have to select the task flow. And once the task flow is selected, all the assets belonging to this hierarchy will be listed here. So this is the hierarchy instance and the 3 relationships. So here record type, we get to choose master or source. So master will give all the master details, and the source level will give all the xref level details, right? And the source system can also be filtered if selecting the source system here, right? And just to give an example of when in master and source what gets egressed. So for example, this is my org record, right? So in this, if I select source, this is the source key which gets egressed. All the details of the source key gets egressed, and in the master, we get the business ID of a source of a master record. So once you trigger the job, all of its data gets egressed to a separate file as we add different target. And this is a hierarchy instance data, right? So when we use the master record, so here source key, if you can see, we are getting this system created ID here and the business ID, and source system for a master will always be MDM and the hierarchy name level and description. Likewise, when we have a record type as source, here you can see the source key is the one which we saw in the UI, right? So this is the source key which we had given during the ingressing of this data. And here the source system, if you could see, whatever source system that you had used during the ingress, the same customer 360 source system is what we see here. So this is the details that comes under the record type as source, and for the master, the MDM ID along with the system generated ID and source system will always be MDM for the master record. Likewise, for each of the relationship, here this will come for the source key, the source master record, and the source system what we have used, right? So that would be the source system you will get for the each of its relationship. So here this is the one for hierarchy root, and like you see here is source P key, business ID. This is something which this is for the master, right? So this is again, like I said, the root also is a relationship between the hierarchy instance and a root record. So this has got a relationship P key. So this is the relationship source P key and source system. And if you come here towards the right, so relationship ID, relationship name, and hierarchy instance source P key also gets egressed, right? So these are the child details. Child is nothing but the organization record, right? Org record here. So child source P key, child source system, and likewise we have hierarchy instance, source P key, and source system. However, when you egress with source has record type, your source P key and source system is what you would have given during the ingress. So here source system is used as C3, customer 360 default. So this is the relationship details, relationship source P key and source system details, right? And likewise the child details, if you see, the child source P key is org1, org2, and the child source system is CRM, which I had earlier showed. So that was this is the record source P key and record source system. And for root, this child will be always the root record, and the parent is the hierarchy instance details. Sorry, hierarchy instance details. And this is another example for org2 person. Record type is source here. So these are the rel P key details that you would have ingressed, relationship name, and your child would be always the person details, right? So child source P key and child source system. Likewise, we have parent source P key and parent source system. So based on what data you would want to see, accordingly you can select the record type, and this is how the hierarchy egress, hierarchy data gets egressed. So here are some of the video KBs and the knowledge-based articles that we have related to hierarchy, imports and couple of failures, and how to configure hierarchy or do a file import. So you can very well refer to these articles. We would love to hear from you. You can always tweet us, or you can write to us at supportvideos@informatica.com. Thank you.